Hello and welcome to another one of my videos, and in today's video I'm going to be going through a trade I did, and this is going to be titled When Trades Go Wrong. I'm also going to share a couple of stories about some deals I did that kind of went wrong as well, and hopefully people can kind of learn from my experiences. It doesn't always go right, and you're only as good as your last trade, but sometimes you just get it wrong. So in this case, I actually traded half an ounce. So these are put into protect. So these are just Bullion Brits. I traded a half ounce pamper bar. Beautiful bar. It had a slight mark. I had a price up, and one of my, I'd say he's a regular. He buys most months, but he started off buying small gold, and he said, it's not for me. I want the ounces. I want the bigger pieces. That's what I prefer, because when I come to sell, it's going to be easier for me to sell. And I said, okay, I'm happy to trade you for your coins, for your bars. Usually when I trade, when trading small for large, I just trade gram for gram, and that way I can make my cut. It isn't a big cut, but I prefer having small gold in. I find small gold works for me, and trading the bigger coins and the bigger bars, it makes sense for me. But when we did the trade, I was kind of busy. I was kind of distracted, and I ended up trading this. So this is just under half an ounce, and then I said, I'll give you 25. So what I did was I quoted him what I was going to sell them for, instead of quoting him slightly under. And I got these in this morning, and I said to the gentleman, I was like, I've really cocked it up, but I will honour the deal, because that's on me. That's not on you. And he said to me, he's like, I don't want you to be out of pocket. I know you do this for a living. It's not a problem. Like, how much are you out? And I said, I'm out maybe 25, which was what I was going to pay him. And he said, don't worry about it. Yeah. And I said, okay. So what I will do is, next time he buys from me or next time he trades, I'll just give him a slightly better deal. It's not a problem on my end. But I really appreciate that, because in terms of profit in these, I probably would have been working for free. It worked out to be about 10% over what I paid on these. Had I paid the 25 as well, there would have been barely anything in it. It could have been, if price continued to rise, I might have made, if I paid 25, I probably would have made a token amount, or I would have made a small loss. So I did appreciate that. But these are cool. I do have time for these. These are probably going to be sold for around 50 plus post, which is what I quoted him. I should have quoted him less than that, but it works that way sometimes. They may even go for slightly more. I'm not sure in this market. The market's very, it's a weird market. It's been a weird market for a long time. I think interest has been lost. We kind of had a sustained push in prices, and there was months where I couldn't get coin in quick enough. And now everything's going to haggle, and that's okay. It's part and parcel of the cycle of buying and selling. You go through stages, and I spoke about it many times, where you go from a buyer's market to a seller's market. That happens. And I always expect that to kind of flip. So it's about picking and choosing your battles. When it's a seller's market, that's where you got to put the hours in. You really got to work hard in this game if you are selling. And when it's a buyer's market, that's when you should be aiming to buy the value. And it just goes from one end of the extreme to the other end of the extreme. So end up getting these in. I did want to tell you a story about a sovereign as well. So I bought a sovereign. This must have been maybe 6 months ago. And I wasn't going to sell it. I was going to keep it, because when I looked at it, this coin was absolutely amazing. It was such a good coin. And someone messaged me and they said, I really want that coin for my collection. And I said, I don't want to sell it. However, make me an offer I can't refuse. I personally thought it was top population bar none, or potential to be top population bar none. It looked like it was minted yesterday. It was such a fantastic coin. It wasn't particularly a rare coin. It was just a very, very beautiful sovereign. And the grading come back the other day, and not only did it bomb it, like I took it personally. I was just like, wow. I took it so bad that I offered to pay back some money on it. So the agreement was he would pay X amount, and if it did come back top pop, he would give me a kicker of £200 on top. And I genuinely thought it was going to be there or thereabouts, and it ended up grading 63, which blew me away. I thought that grade was wrong. I was just like, no, that can't be right. That can't be right. But he showed me the grades. I was like, I just felt really lousy about it because I sold it in good faith, and it was genuinely a coin I thought I wouldn't see one of them again. Maybe it was graded slightly harshly, but even so, had it been a 64, it still would have been below top pop, which was a 65. So yeah, that wasn't great. The person I sent it to, so he had someone else look at it, and they personally thought it was a 63 to 64. I'm not a professional grader. I do get it wrong on occasions. It's part and parcel of this business, but when I see something, I tend to put it to one side, something that I think is kind of special, and on that occasion I thought it was. He did say to me, he's like, it's the way it works sometimes. It's essentially how the cookie crumbles. And yeah, I just felt really lousy about the fact that he paid top dollar for a coin that didn't quite hit what it didn't hit anywhere near what I thought it was, which is a real shame. Like another occasion I remember, so I ended up selling one of these. It was with a proof, it was with box and COA, and I sold it to a lady I'm good friends with. And many months passed, and I'm looking at the prices, and I thought, I've done this woman badly on the price. So I messaged her one day, and I just said, look, send me your bank details. I'm going to partial refund you on the coin. I think I got the price wrong, and I want to rectify that, because as much as, you know, I have to make a profit, there's making a profit and there's ripping people off. And I think, well, I thought on that occasion I got it so badly wrong that I was like, no. I ended up refunding the lady £300 on it. And yeah, I don't feel bad about that. It felt like the morally responsible thing to do. You know, these things happen. Like, I don't want to tarnish my name by selling for top prices, and when they come to sell it on themselves, they are going to take a loss on it, and potentially a heavy loss. That's not what I'm about. But she said to me, I spoke to her on the phone, and she said, I don't think of you any differently. You know, it's okay. You don't have to refund me. And I said, but it's not about how you see me. It's about how I see myself. I never got into coin dealing to make a killing and to make the most money possible. You know, I got into coin dealing because I loved coin dealing. I loved dealing with coins. And on that occasion, I was just like, no, I'm not going to settle for that. I'm better than that, not only as a dealer, but as a human being. And it matters to me what I think about myself when I am trading. It's just one of those things. So this coin here, you would have seen it. This is a double 1989. It does have handling marks. It should clean up, but there's no guarantee in that. I end up paying around £1,000 for it. Now, if it comes back as a problem coin, there's still some margin in it, but there's potential for it to do better than that. I don't know. I think it's clear that I need to deal with more and more coins in terms of grading to kind of get a grasp on the grades. And that's a natural progression for anyone who's grading coins. Don't always get it right. I've had it in the past where I've got it wrong both on the good side and the bad side, and that's okay. It tends to even itself out. So yeah, just the trade I did for these. I really do appreciate the guy saying don't worry about it. You know, I will look after him moving forward. That seems like the morally responsible thing to do. And yeah, hopefully you guys have learned something from this. You know, you have to get the numbers right. You have to make sure they tally when you make a deal. He could turn around and say, well, deal's a deal, and I would have honoured it. You know, I would have paid him. It's certainly not a problem, because in this game your word is important. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, then please farm it up, you know, leave some comments, you know, it's not a problem, and I'll see you on the next one.